You've probably heard, just think positive and you'll manifest it. But you see, if that worked, wouldn't you already have everything that you want? The truth is, there are three hidden fixes that almost no one talks about. And they're the reason manifestation isn't working. So if you've been trying and nothing is showing up, you're not alone. I've been there too. And that's why today I'm sharing the three real fixes that almost no one talks about. First, the reason visualization alone falls flat and the missing ingredient that supercharges it. Second, why holding on too tightly actually blocks your desires and how to let go the right way. And third, why manifesting money directly rarely works, and the simple shift that makes abundance flow. See, by the end of this episode, you'll know how to supercharge your visualizations so they actually work. You're going to know how to release the resistance that's been blocking you and how to shift into the kind of abundance that flows naturally. But if you miss these three fixes, you'll keep spinning your wheels. You'll keep journaling, visualizing, hoping, but nothing is going to change. And that's exactly what I don't want for you. Hey there, and welcome to the Spirits Beside Us podcast, where we explore real ways to connect with the other side without fear, without doubt, and without doing it alone. I'm Chris Lippincott, best-selling author, international medium, and spiritual teacher. I help spiritual seekers like you learn how to hear from or communicate with your spirit guides and your loved ones in the afterlife. This way, you can gain healing and comfort and feel guided, grounded, and truly at peace. See, it's my mission to raise the vibration of all of humanity by helping you remember that spirit is actually closer than you think. And if you're finding all these episodes helpful, be sure to follow us so that you'll never miss an episode. So let's dive into today's episode because if spirit's been trying to reach you, it's high time that you finally knew it. The first fix that most people overlook is emotionalization. Yes, crystal clear visualization is definitely critical. You got to paint the picture of what you want in vivid detail. Visualization is kind of like setting a pin on Google Maps. It tells the universe where you're going, it's the end destination. But visualization alone isn't enough. While the excitement of the new image or the visualization itself may actually excite you, after a while, the excitement kind of wears off if you don't have any more stimulus. So without emotion, it's kind of like staring at a postcard of your dream instead of actually stepping inside it. The picture may be clear, but it's kind of lifeless. Visualization paints the image, but emotion charges it with electricity. Well, let's look at it from a scientific background. For example, the Heart Math Institute has shown that when we generate elevated emotions like joy, gratitude, or love, our heart and brain actually shift into coherence. And that state can be measured as a powerful electromagnetic field radiating outward, broadcasting a signal into the world. Now, some call this the auric field that surrounds our physical body, but whatever you want to refer to it as, definitely emotions light up this entire field. Ever had your aura photo taken that shows different colors around you? That's your aura. Those colors you see actually reflect your energy, and your energy reflects your emotions. So the more you focus on your emotions, the more energy you're creating, and this is actually affecting your entire world. And you see, quantum physics backs this up. The observer effect actually tells us that intention and thought energy influences reality. But the superposition principle goes even further. A quantum system exists in all possible states until observation collapses it into one defined state. Said more simply, all outcomes exist until you choose one with your focus and intention. And here's the key. Thoughts alone are weak, but thoughts charged with emotion collapse reality with much greater force and speed. See, spirit is right there in the process, helping you choose a reality that matches your highest alignment. Now, pause for a second. Can you remember a time when you just felt so much gratitude or joy that your whole body lit up? That's the exact frequency that spirit responds to. And from a spiritual side, this makes perfect sense. See, spirit doesn't speak English or French or Italian or whatever. It actually speaks vibration. And emotion is vibration in its purest form. You see, when you emotionalize your vision, when you actually feel peace, freedom, joy, or gratitude, you're not just sending out a wish. You're tuning yourself to spirit's frequency. You're opening the channel so your guides can amplify your signal and orchestrate synchronicities in your life. And this was actually my exact experience with my Asheville house. See, at first, my visualizations were crystal clear, but they were kind of flat. But once I began emotionalizing them, and here's the key idea here, I felt them, everything shift. I didn't just see the house, I felt it. And I imagined myself living in it. And that was what created the emotions and fired up my visualization. See, I felt myself on the back porch with the crisp mountain air in my face, the sunlight spilling over the ridges. I got excited as I felt myself sitting on my sofa in the screened in porch, sipping my hot morning coffee with no one around, just me and nature. And I felt peace settle into my chest as I looked out over the Blue Ridge Mountains. I felt myself inhaling fresh air and smelling the scent of pine across my nostrils. I heard the wind gently blowing through the pines nearby and kind of creating a soft whoosh, kind of like the sound of air going through a tiny filter. And inside, I felt the warmth of the wooden floors and the rugs under my feet. And I felt the joy of the expanse of everything my house represented to me, peace and harmony. See, I felt the mountain breezes flowing through open windows, and I heard the sacred silence that filled the entire space. I also imagined neighbors waving to me as I took my walks through the area, instilling in me a sense of community and belonging, not to mention happiness and serenity. See, I felt the grounding presence of the never ending forest, the birds singing in the morning, the expansiveness of the mountains holding me, kind of like a safe embrace. See, I just felt it. And it was kind of like a dream, but one in which I was actually living and breathing and having a vivid experience. It wasn't just a picture anymore. It was alive with joy, freedom, peace, and belonging. And when I emotionalized those feelings, spirit had a clear frequency to amplify. And that's when all the synchronicities began showing up. Doors opened, and my wife and I were guided straight to Asheville and that one house. You see, that's the difference. Visualization sets the picture, but emotionalization and feelings send the vibration that spirit can respond to. Together, they turn imagination into reality. So think back to the last time that you visualized something that you wanted. Did you just see the image, kind of like a movie on a screen? Or did you actually feel the joy, the freedom, or maybe the gratitude of already living it? You see, that's the difference that might explain why that thing hasn't shown up yet. Okay, so let's look at the second fix that most people overlook, and that is releasing the outcome. So you've probably heard the phrase, what you think about, you bring about, and that's true. But here's the catch. If what you're constantly thinking is, well, I don't have it yet, then what you're really focusing on is lack, the lack of not having the thing that you want. And the more you focus on lack, the more you create that reality. Remember, the universe is neutral to your words. So if you're thinking about lack, that's exactly what you're going to get. Think about how often your thoughts kind of circle around, well, I don't have it yet. How does that feel in your body? Does it feel open and free? Or does it feel heavy and tight? And it kind of gets worse when you try to control the process too. See, when you're obsessing over the how or the when that something's supposed to show up, you're actually kind of creating a resistance against the very process that's trying to deliver it to you in the fastest and most efficient way. See, instead of leaving space for spirit to orchestrate the details, you're kind of bottlenecking the flow. And you see, the truth is that manifestation only works when you can set the intention and then just let go. Your job is to plant the seed. It's spirit's job to orchestrate the harvest. Now, you see, science backs this up. In quantum physics, observation collapses reality into form. But if you keep observing through the lens of doubt or lack, you're actually collapsing the very state that you don't want. Once you've chosen your outcome with clarity, the most powerful move is to just step back and trust the process. Think about it kind of like planting a seed. You water it, you nurture it, but you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing, do you? Just trust nature to do its work, right? And spiritually, this is all about cooperation with spirit. See, spirit can't deliver your desire if you're clinging to your own plan of how and when it's got to arrive. Control energy actually blocks that channel. Surrender says, Spirit, I trust you. Guide me through your timing and your pathways. And when you do, your guides have the freedom to line up synchronicities and opportunities that you never could have planned on your own. I'll give you an example. See, many years ago, when my wife Carol and I lived in New Jersey, she came across a magazine article about a beautiful townhouse in a condominium complex in Montclair. It looked like this grand old house. In fact, it actually dated back from the late 1800s. It had charm and space, but it had all the ease and maintenance of a condo. The townhouse was basically a full size of a house, had two fireplaces, beautiful woodwork and details throughout, had a massive living room with a 12-foot high tray ceiling, had light flowing in from nearly all the sides so the sun is poured in. And the article described how close it was to everything, just walking distance to all the best places you could find in downtown Montclair. So my wife cut out the article and thought, wow, that'd be so nice one day. Maybe, when we want something different. And she just tucked it away in her desk, put it in her drawer somewhere. She just kind of forgot about it. 7 years later, without ever consciously chasing it, we found ourselves living in that exact townhouse. Carol took out the article and practically began to cry as she was so shocked that we were now living in the exact place that she had been dreaming about all those years ago and staring at the magazine article. Talk about it, visualizing and releasing. I got to say that when she showed me that old article that she had saved and revealed that we were actually living in her exact visualization, I was totally shocked. It kind of felt like spirit slapped me upside the head and said, see, even your wife is manifesting. Wake up, kid. You see, the same kind of pattern showed up in my MBA and CFA. I set the intention, I took the aligned action, but I didn't wake up every day demanding to know when it would happen. I just trusted. See, I forgot I'd even asked, and eventually the doors opened in ways that I never could have predicted. You see, that's the lesson. Releasing the outcome doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing. It actually means you stay aligned. You've got to have aligned action. You stop trying to micromanage the universe, however. You trust spirit's timing and you let go of the how. That's the key part. Here's how to practice this. State your desire clearly once, and then out loud say, I trust spirit with the timing and the pathway. My job is to stay in alignment and take the steps that I'm guided to. Then take one small action step that feels natural and inspired. And when doubt creeps in, just pause, breathe, and repeat, Spirit, I trust you with the details. Then redirect yourself back into gratitude. Now, think about what you're trying to manifest right now. Are your thoughts kind of circling around not having it yet? Are you gripping the how and when so tightly that spirit just really doesn't have any space to work? Now, what would it feel like to release that control and just let spirit move everything for you? That'd be great. Okay, let's look at the third fix. Number 3 is stop trying to manifest money directly. You see, most people are told to focus on the number, manifest 10,000 a month, visualize $1,000,000. But here's the truth. Money by itself doesn't carry any energy at all. It's just a means of exchange. In reality, at the end of the day, it's just paper. And staring at paper doesn't stir anything inside you, does it? See, what actually creates the emotion, which is the vibration the spirit responds to, are the end results of what money can bring. Freedom, opportunities, experience, helping others, spaciousness, security, joy. Those are all the things that light you up emotionally, right? And it's the emotional charge behind those images that fuels manifestation. You see, science actually proves this too. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between vividly imagining something and actually experiencing it. See, athletes have been proving for decades that the mind and body are wired so closely together that the brain often treats imagination as reality. For example, neuroscientists back in 1992 showed that people who only imagined lifting weights increased their strength by about 22% in 4 weeks. Can you imagine that? Without touching a barbell. I'd love to do that. Their brains drove new neural firing patterns, just like physical training. And in a similar vein, another study in 1995 found that people who only imagined practicing the piano developed new motor cortex maps nearly identical to those who actually practiced on real keyboards. In sports, same thing happens with biofeedback. Kind of takes us a step further. There was another experiment in 1991 that trained athletes to adjust their brain and their brainwave patterns using EEG feedback. The group given correct biofeedback shot significantly more bullseyes than those given false feedback or none at all. And heart rate variability biofeedback has also been shown to sharpen focus and steadiness in shooters and archers by teaching athletes to control their stress under pressure. So when we say the brain can't tell the difference, the precise truth is vivid imagery and biofeedback guided practice recruit many of the same neural circuits as real movement. And that's why mental rehearsal plus physiological feedback can measurably enhance performance even before the body makes a move. And that's how powerful visualization and motion are. Your body and the energy system begin living it in the now. Imagine if you trained your manifestation practice the same way that an athlete trains for competition, feeling it so vividly that your body believes it's already true. What end result could you start rehearsing in your mind today? So you see, when you imagine the end results of abundance that we were just talking about, maybe living in your dream home, feeling free from stress, traveling with ease, or giving generously, your nervous system responds as though it's already happening. And spiritually, that makes sense because spirit doesn't trade in numbers or cash. Spirit speaks vibration. Numbers don't vibrate, but freedom, joy, peace, and generosity certainly do. And that is what spirit can amplify. See, that was a huge realization for me because when I tried to manifest money directly, it always just felt flat. I could never make it succeed. But the moment I focused on what the money would bring, the freedom to live in a space I loved, the joy of time and nature, the ability to give generously, suddenly everything shifted. And that's exactly what happened with my Asheville home. I wasn't focused on a price tag. I was focused on the feelings of living in that environment. And spirit brought the money and the opportunities to match it. So here is the shift. Don't ask, well, how do I manifest money? Instead, ask, what do I want the money for? And then feel it. See yourself living the end result. Emotionalize the end result because that's the frequency that spirit responds to. Now, here's something that you can try. Take a desire that feels money based and ask yourself, okay, what do I really want the money for? Is it freedom from stress? Is it travel? Is it helping my family? Then just close your eyes and feel yourself living that end result. What emotions are coming up? Gratitude, joy, ease? And let those be your signal to spirit. Because when you think about money, does it kind of feel flat and distant? Or do you light up when you imagine the life that it actually makes possible? Which one do you think spirit's more likely to respond to? The cash or the end result? So there you have it. The three hidden fixes that finally make manifestation work. First, emotionalization, feeling your vision so that spirit can amplify it. Second, releasing the outcome, planting the seed, and trusting spirit with the details. And third, focusing on the end results instead of actually the money, because it's the emotions of freedom, joy, and generosity that spirit responds to. Now, you see, here's the issue. Once you know about all these three fixes, a new challenge usually pops up. See, you realize that your biggest block isn't the visualization or even the release anymore. It's the racing mind that just won't slow down long enough for you to actually finally align with spirit. So that's why I created a free guided meditation that helps you calm your mind, deepen your spiritual connection, and really get into that exact energy that makes manifestation flow. It's only 10 minutes, but it's powerful. You see, you can grab it for free at montclairmedium.com/free-meditation. And now that you know how to fix your manifestation practice, the next step for you is learning actually how to partner with your guides to receive support. And that's why my episode, How to Connect with Your Spirit Guides, that's what it's all about. It's going to help you align with the help that's always waiting for you on the other side. So make sure you listen to that episode right after this one. It's going to help you a lot. Well, I hope you found this helpful. So if you have, please be sure to follow us so that you don't miss another episode. This is Chris signing off, sending you love and light. Bye for now.